I'm going to call the Mount Isa City Council meeting to order September 6, 2022. And we'll start with the flag salute. Get my little friend with me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. And the first item on our agenda this evening is an executive session.
Hold on, Pete, real quick, I take roll call real quickly.
Oh.
Go into that.
Sure.
Thank you, Steve. Counselor Eager. There. Counselor Wall.
I guess I'm here.
Counselor Astorga. Here. Counselor Donahue. Here. Counselor Ott is absent. Counselor Owen. Here. All right.
Okay. Now we're going to go into executive session to discuss the LiUNA collective bargaining agreement. The city council will meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192-660 sub 2 sub D to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to carry on labor negotiations. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend this executive session. All other persons are asked to leave the room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed to not record the meeting and not report on any matter addressed during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the executive session as previously announced, and no final action or decision may be made in executive session. And then following that, I'll read this now and get this out of the way. We're going to have an executive session on civic center planning land purchase. And the city council will meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192.660 sub E to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to negotiate real property transactions. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend this executive session. All other persons are asked to leave the room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed to not record the meeting and not report on any matter addressed during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the executive session as previously announced. No final action or decision may be made in executive session. Then following that, we will reopen the general meeting and go on to agenda item 6. So with that, I'm going to move us into the first executive session. Okay, so we can move on to our second executive session. Civic center planning and land purchase. Let's close the executive session and let's move on to number 6.
We're half done, aren't we? Half done with the page.
Thank you.
It's here.
We're almost there. Okay.
Beautiful item.
Okay. So do we have any presentations, guests, and announcements, Colby?
Yeah, we do. Travis Comfort from Republic Services is here to give their annual update.
Okay. He's here? Okay.
Travis?
Good evening, council. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen. I don't know if you can see it, but my presentation is also in your council packet. Colby, can I get permission to share my screen, or is that?
When I'm going there, should.
No worries.
Uh,
There we go. Good evening, council. Unfortunately, KJ Lewis won't be able to join us this evening. She got caught up at an event that she just couldn't get out of. But I'm here and I'm pleased to report out on everything that's kind of happened over the last year, give you a little bit of a kind of preview, and basically we'll be seeing you again next year as well. But in terms of the general service, it's very similar to as we reported to you all in 2020. We have 7 drivers continuing to serve the city of Mount Angel. We hit just about 800 homes each month, and that's tipping roughly 88,000 carts per year. In terms of the weights, I did pull our 2,000 weights for you just to kind of have a comparison here. But in terms of residential tonnage, garbage went up almost double. It went up about 1,000 tons from 2020 to 2022, to 2021, 2020 to 2021. And in commercial, we saw it more than double. It went from 640 tons in 2020 to 1,610.47 in 2021. I did want to remind everybody, it seems like every time I'm out in the community, some residents forget that they can drop off a lot of these hard to get rid of recyclable items at our Woodburn facility Monday through Friday. So I just kind of wanted to remind everybody that, they can get rid of that, old motor oil, any of that e-waste sitting around the house, any sort of paint or any of those chemicals and that stuff. And we do have a big metal bin out front too. So that's our, we're right down on Front Street. So just downtown, down about a mile from the old downtown part of Woodburn. And yeah, it's again open Monday through Friday from 7 to 5 p.m. We had our annual cleanup day this last week. That was yard debris, e-waste, and recyclables. City Hall hosted it in their parking lot, which was a big improvement from last year. There's been a lot of construction in town, so we had to make sure we had a better positioning in place this year, and Colby really worked that out for us. So I was really appreciative for him being all over that this year. We will be back in town. It is on the 15th to start bringing our carts and stuff for the Oktoberfest. So we're super excited about that as well. To kind of give you just an overview, I put the line graph in the beginning for our statement of income. This kind of shows you that council took action in 2019. They did our rate adjustment, so we were able to hit our target. Then the pandemic happened. We saw a huge shift in people, consuming more waste at home. So that's where you see this is kind of plateaued off a little bit. And then, as I had mentioned before, the increase in the weight numbers. We'll be coming back with a more detailed year-over-year assessment of that next year. But I did want to give you a good detailed kind of preview tonight. And if you have any sort of questions or just sort of any feedback that you want us to come back with next year, we would love that kind of feedback. So in terms of our statement of income, as you can see here, the biggest things that went up were labor, SG&A. In terms of our overall expenses that we saw increase, we saw trucks and equipment go up from 2020 to 2021 by just over 25%. Those expenses thus far in 2022, we've seen an almost 30% increase with inflationary pressures, cost of materials for steel, repairing containers, trucks. In terms of some of our parts have gone up 25% since 2022. Since 2020 to 2022, tires are up 50%. So our commercial grade tires for our trucks have gone up 50% over the last 2 years, and that's due to the resources for rubber and also some of the transportation costs in getting those materials here. Labor has gone up by 11%, and that's just the increased demand every industry is kind of seeing it right now. So there's just a lot more competition for great staff. So again, we're doing really well. We've tried to gain efficiencies where we could, especially because we saw that increase residential demand. But we'll be coming back with, like I said, a more detailed, analysis next year, because we tend to keep our forecast very conservative. Kimmy builds these models out to kind of give you a very basic idea of what could happen. But we're estimating that some of these increases will be actually pretty substantial with inflation, interest rates going up, and that sort of stuff. So we didn't want to forecast something that could be off more than our usual standard deviation. So we did present this pie chart breakdown of an average 35-gallon Mount Angel resident monthly fee. That's the most common cart size in Mount Angel. So you can see the biggest increase, the biggest section, and that continues to kind of go up, is that disposal and recycling portion. We did see about 3 months at the beginning of the year that had a little reprieve from the price of disposal. So again, we'll be able to kind of outline that a little bit better when we have the full picture of 2022. But the long and the short of it, we're still paying to get rid of recycling at this point. So that paradigm shift of post China Sword in 2018, it's still kind of the norm. So what we'd kind of presented to you guys 2 years ago about the markets changing, we've seen some adaptation, and we will be also coming back next year on the legislative changes. So there's going to be the two big things coming in 2022 is the truth in labeling. That's going to kind of correct the chasing arrows confusion on what's recyclable, what can be recycled in Oregon. And then also DEQ's coming out with their statewide standardized lists for what has to go into commingled curbside recycling, and then what's provided at the depots. So we do have the depot already, but we could see materials added or changed based on that. So we'll be coming back with even legislative and state mandates that will kind of be changing next year as well. But yeah, sorry to kind of go through a lot there, but did you guys have specific questions or any comments on service or just any kind of feedback?
Anyone? A lot of information, Travis. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, sir. And I'm moving to Marion County at the end of the month, so I'm going to be even closer to you guys. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. No, I don't see any questions, Travis, so I think we can let you go.
That sounds wonderful. I really appreciate your time, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on. Any interested citizens?
I did not have anybody.
Okay. Any disinterested citizens? Okay, I'll pass on that. Okay, we're going to move to review of accounts payable for August of 2022. Anyone have any questions on that?
I don't.
No. I don't see any questions, so we'll move on. The consent agenda, approve the city council meeting minutes of August 1st, 2022. That's an action item. Any questions or corrections? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I moved to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, Colby.
All right, Counselor Hooper,
Aye.
Counselor Eater,
Aye.
Counselor Wall,
Aye.
Counselor Storment,
Aye.
Counselor Donahue. Aye. And Counselor Hawk is absent.
Okay. And now we're going to unfinished business, and We have item 10A, which is Mountain Angel Comcast franchise agreement. And I know we have a representative of Comcast here. So,
Did you want me to kick this off?
sure.
Okay. So in your packet is the proposed franchise agreement between the city of Mount Angel and Comcast of Oregon. Just background, and I'll just go right off the cap here. Comcast initially reached out to the city of Mount Angel in February of 2021, providing a draft franchise agreement expressing their interest to provide services. May 3rd, 2021 City Council meeting, the presentation was given by Kirk Nord, Director of Government Affairs from Comcast. During this presentation, Mr. Nord expressed the interest of Comcast to provide their services to the city of Mount Angel and gave a presentation on the services that they can offer. After that presentation, former city manager Kevin Cronin and attorney David Rees had some discussion as to how to create either a franchise agreement or an ordinance to bring back to council. Comcast again reached out in July of 2021 by providing a revised draft of the franchise agreement. Comcast expressed their intent was to have this draft franchise agreement presented to council at the September 2021 meeting. On October 22nd, 2021, I and the assistant to the city manager, Colby Kemp, had a meeting by phone with attorney David Rees to discuss where things were regarding the process of creating either a franchise agreement or an ordinance with Comcast. It was determined at that time, during that meeting, that if the city were to move forward with this project, it would be in the best interest of the city to draft a franchise agreement. At the November 1st City Council meeting, it was decided that the franchise agreement could be initiated with Comcast. And we now bring the agreement created by attorney David Rees and agreed upon by Comcast before council for approval. We do recommend that council approve the franchise agreement between the city of Mount Angel and Comcast of Oregon for a duration of 10 years.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Do you have anything you'd like to add to this? Sure. Yeah, just introduce yourself.
Good evening. My name is Tim Goodman. I'm Senior Director of Government Regulatory Affairs for Comcast NBC and Visual Studios, Comcast being the parent company. Apologize for the little gap in communications between us and then Mr. Nord was a member of my team and left Comcast. So I was kind of taking over for him and another individual on the team. And so we're finally able to get back together to get this done. We are looking forward to coming to Mount Angel. We're currently building out in the city of Woodburn. And we're getting ready to start in the city of Silverton. And so this is kind of closes that gap between the two. I would like to give you a timeline as to when, we would hopefully be done with construction. We just finished a franchise agreement with the city of Estacada. They're about 18 months out from being completely built out from the moment that franchise was effective, which is tomorrow. So 18 months from then. But with y'all being in an area where we're already building, we expect that will probably come sooner rather than later here because we're already working in Silverton and Woodburn. We will, I think, Mr. Nord did provide an overview of some of the services that Comcast will bring with it to the community. We would like to become a community partner. We're not just here for business purposes. We like to become part of the community through some of our programs that we have available, such as our Internet Essentials program, which is for anyone who's receiving any type of aid. We also, that's $10 a month for twice the federal broadband speed. It's been that way priced for 10 years since the program came into play, and we're enhancing that even more and more with the Affordable Connectivity Program provided by the FCC. Someone with our program will actually can get the internet broadband for free. So, we provide a number of other services, video, broadband, our Xfinity Mobile, home security, a little bit of everything. and we would become a part of the community, not just someone doing business here.
Thank you. Any councilors have any questions at this point? Been talking about this for a long time.
Is 10 years kind of the standard for,
Pardon?
is 10 years kind of the standard for the franchise agreement for?
It is in my experience, yeah.
I believe that's actually the law.
Okay.
Maybe that's why. So if this is approved this evening, when would you start? Do you sell first or build first?
No, we don't.
You do?
So, yeah, so, once, if there's an approval tonight, we would begin our design.
Okay,
And probably a lot of it's already done.
Okay.
Design, and then we would begin going through permitting the city and get whatever permits are needed for us to move forward. And once we have those, then we'll move right on. The fact that we've got construction going on both in Woodburn and Silverton, you know, it's going to be sooner rather than later. Can I get back to you all with a timeline from our construction folks that would give you a little bit better idea, so we have that
okay,
as well, but yes, we just finish the design and then the permitting.
excellent, thank you.
Is the intent basically to kind of connect A and B, Silverton and Woodburn and through Mount Angel, or? So what's the intent of service?
Meaning what area is in the city?
Yeah.
Yeah, the entire city. We would build out the entire city.
Question.
Was there a
Looks like
cable?
they're- Excuse me. They were asked, and will notice be given to residents before yards are dug.
So when we go big yard done. So, you know, so typically how we work, and this was a question that came up in Estacada, is wherever, you know, things are in the aerial or aerial, if they're underground, we go underground, but we don't trench, we bore. So we have boring machines, the contracts are boring machines that go under. The only time you may have some type of trenching is if somebody actually orders services and it's an underground area, and we have to go and bore in the grounds, but we typically do not trench.
Okay, thank you.
Was there a cable company not too long ago that had to go around Mount Angel?
I'm not aware if there was.
I guess it wasn't Comcast.
No, Comcast has been, I'll say at first, very impatient. But I will say over the last number of months, very patient with us getting this process. And they've been, you know, definitely wanting to get this in place because, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I was told at the very beginning, is they basically needed this to be able to serve Silverton. So they definitely need this franchise agreement to be able to put the service through, but also to provide the services as a competitor here for the city of Nottingham.
So if we said no, how does it get to Silverton?
We can use other routes to get there.
You go around town, is that what you do?
What's that?
You go through town or around town?
Well, if we don't have, if we can't have a permit to get to the city of Mount Angel, we can't do any work there. So.
Okay.
Are you ready for a motion?
I am. I have a couple of just technical things to address with staff, but nothing we need to talk about. Doesn't change this franchise agreement at all.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later. So now I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve the franchise agreement between the city of Mount Angel and Comcast of Oregon 2 Inc. for a duration of 10 years.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the franchise agreement with Comcast. And I'll have Colby do a roll call, please.
Counselor Ott is absent. Counselor Hooper.
Aye.
Counselor Eden.
Aye.
Counselor Wall.
Aye.
Counselor Astoria.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue.
I'll leave each of you my card in case you have any further questions. Please feel free to reach out to me. Evenings or weekends, I'm kind of on call all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by, Tim.
Oh, you bet. A great evening to be down here in Mount Angel. Be down for Oktoberfest.
Hanging out in the courtyard.
It was nice and peaceful out there. I got a little work done.
It's a good day. Okay, thank
It
you.
won't be peaceful during October.
Yeah, I know. Last year was my first time down for that. So anyway, have a great evening. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move along to new business, and the first item is the fee schedule update. And I believe Tara,
We'll let Tara carry the ball.
okay,
Good evening. I apologize for bringing you yet another fee schedule update. But my utility billing clerk was looking through the ordinance and noticed that the ordinance spoke to a illegal use fee that was supposed to be set by resolution. And so she did some research at other similar sized cities. The average was about $50. So we felt that was a good place to start. This would address a couple instances that we have seen lately where water is shut off for non-payment and the tenant or owner goes and turns the water back on. Or for plumbers who bypass our meter and so therefore water use is not tracked. And or new customers turning on the meter and not seeing it. So this is outside of our shut off for non-payment.
Okay.
That's the only change that we have this time.
so that's the only fee.
That's the only change.
Wow. Okay, are there any questions, Tara, by council? No, if there are no questions, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the attached resolution updating fees for services by the city of Mount Angel.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. And
Counselor Donahue.
Aye.
Counselor Ott is absent. Counselor Hooper.
Aye.
Counselor Eden.
Aye.
Counselor Wall.
aye,
Counselor Astoria.
okay, and our next item is public contracting rules. I think that's a Tara too, also.
It is.
Okay,
You're up.
Okay, so with all the federal money that we've been getting lately, I've been having to learn more than I did before about public contracting rules and what the Oregon state law requires versus the federal law versus what our ordinance procurement law or ordinance said. So I sent an email off to our attorneys and said, what can we do? How do I know which one to go by? And we figured that it would be easier to update our rules to what the state of Oregon has done. So they've increased some of their limits for small procurement. They've made the thresholds for getting public sealed bids, they've increased those. So we just wanted to update and be in compliance with that. So there was fewer conflicting rules in place as we spend the grants. While we were updating this, we also are asking for an increase for the city manager to sign $50,000 contracts as opposed to $30,000 contracts, as that is also a standard threshold that other city governments have in place. My threshold and department threshold is 30,000.
2 years ago, $30,000 contracts, now $2,000 contracts.
There you go.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Pete, don't you have to read the resolutions?
An ordinance, oh, it's an ordinance.
Oh, I guess I'm combining these two. I apologize.
Okay. Right,
I think,
well, we're changing the ordinance to allow it to be done by resolution, if I'm not mistaken, is that correct?
yes, so you, you have to adopt the public model rules and repealing portions of that. And then we actually have to adopt the actual rules. Does that make sense?
Right.
Maybe. So,
Can I ask a question just for my purposes? We have to adopt the ordinance prior to adopting the resolution.
yes.
So we'll have to adopt the resolution at the next meeting when the second reading of the ordinance.
Yes,
is-
what,
Are we doing it all at this week?
all of this meeting.
We can do the first and second in one meeting if it's unanimous.
Correct.
Yeah, so, right, this one, we have to have a public hearing. Right?
Yes, that's.
Yes. So, sorry, so you have to, in order to do what I said before about the resolution, you have to say that we're gonna adopt it by resolution rather than ordinance. Because right now, our public contracting rules are set by ordinance. And we wanna adopt an ordinance that says those rules are set by resolution, so it's easier to change them in the future as the state updates them. I apologize for the confusion.
I thought that's hard.
I know.
Okay.
Sorry. I can restate that slower if you
So-
like.
So, we are going to, I'm gonna ask for any public comment on ordinance number 772. And I'm gonna read that the first time by title only. This is an ordinance allowing for adoption of public contracting rules by resolution and repealing portions of Mount Angel Municipal Code, Chapter 35. So is there any public comment? I don't see any public comment. No. Okay. So then I'm going to close the public hearing. And I'm going to read this a second time by title only. This is an ordinance allowing for adoption of, oh, wait, no, I'm going to back up. We need to approve it on the first reading. So it's been read by first reading, so I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 772.
I move to approve ordinance 772, allowing for the adoption of public contracting rules by resolution and repealing portions of the Mount Angel Municipal Code, Chapter 35. I will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 772 on first reading. Call me roll call.
Counselor Astoria. Counselor Donahue. Aye. Counselor Ott is absent. Counselor Hoover.
Aye.
Counselor Eater.
Aye.
Counselor Wall.
Aye. Okay, we're going to move on to a second reading of ordinance number 772. This is an ordinance allowing for adoption of public contracting rules by resolution and repealing portions of Mount Angel Municipal Code, Chapter 35. entertain a motion to approve that on second reading.
I move to approve the second reading of ordinance 772, allowing for the adoption of public contracting rules by resolution and repealing portions of Mount Angel Municipal Code, Chapter 35.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 772 on second reading. Colby? Aye.
Counselor Astoria,
Aye.
Counselor Donahue.
Aye.
Counselor Hopp is absent, Counselor Hofer,
Aye.
Counselor Eden.
Okay. We'll move on to item 11C, which is public contracting rules, a public hearing on resolution number 1557. And
So now that we pass that,
okay,
we can adopt this packet that's been provided by the local government law group. They've agreed to consistently, anytime the state law makes updates, they will send us a packet to update our resolutions. On top of the other updates I mentioned of the city manager contract increasing from 30,000 to 50,000. We've also increased the thresholds to match the state procurement process.
and since this doesn't involve a fee, I don't think I need a public hearing on this one. Do I?
It doesn't hurt to do it.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to open public hearing on resolution number 1557. Any public comment? No. Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing on resolution number 1557. And moving right along, do we have any questions of council or to staff by council? On this one?
No.
No, okay. I will entertain a motion on resolution number 1557 then.
Move to approve resolution 1557, opting out of the AG's model public contractor rules and amending public contractor rules for the city of Mount Angel.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 1557. Colby, roll call, please.
Counselor Eden,
Aye.
Counselor Wall,
Aye.
Counselor Astoria. Aye. Counselor Donahue. Aye. Counselor Hopp is absent. Counselor Hofer.
Yeah. We were supposed to adjourn a joint meeting of the contract review board.
Oh, yeah, this is all new to me.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Okay,
Yeah, so the city council also acts as our contract review board.
Yep.
And because this procurement is a contract, you have to open a joint meeting, and you can do it once. You don't have to do it twice, but you can open the meeting as a joint.
open it with, I may be confused. Who are we opening the meeting with?
The local contract review board, so
Yes.
that's them,
And city council serves as the local.
as both, yes.
Okay,
So, yeah, we were supposed to do the hearing as both.
okay.
Sorry, this is new. Do we want to
So
go back?
where do we need to go back to, I guess, is my question.
Right before we adopted the resolution.
The
So,
previous one,
no, this one.
this one, so let's go back.
Okay,
It doesn't hurt to go back.
Right.
And do what we need to do legally. And then we can even keep the same motions, and I'll just retake roll.
okay.
Okay, so
So,
we're going to take two votes then. We're gonna take-
No, you shouldn't need to.
no, this one didn't make it all the way through, so I'm not gonna count the previous.
Yeah.
The city council, so you have to reopen the meeting to the contract board as well.
Yeah, you just have to
You have to take a roll call.
start a joint meeting.
Okay, we have a joint meeting of the city council and the local public contracting review board. And
and have a hearing.
in a public hearing, in public. Okay, so
And then you
I'll
can have
close the public
discussion,
hearing.
and then you can adjourn the joint meeting, and then the council makes,
Okay, I'm going to adjourn the joint meeting of the two bodies, and I'm going to take a motion of the Public Contracting Review Board. Right?
I think we're okay now.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because we already voted.
Well, we did vote previously, but we should probably just run through it again.
sure.
So I'm just gonna take roll call.
Okay, so the first one is going to be the Public Contracting Review Board, and the second one will be the council.
Okay, there you
So
go.
we've done the Public Contracting Review Board.
Yes, except for I did not get a vote from Counselor Hooper, did not hear it on the first go.
Well, because it was.
I know, I apologize.
But that's the last name I have on the list that needs to.
It was almost as the light bulb went off. I was like,
Okay.
I'm glad I did. I'm glad-
yeah.
Wouldn't know the difference anyway.
Right,
My vote is aye,
okay, okay,
then and now.
so now we are gonna take the second round of votes.
Oh, now it is hot in here.
All
Okay.
right,
So,
I'm gonna start my
Can you-
roll call.
Hey, Colby, not to throw another stop on this, but you need to reread the motion. And can you state who made the motions and all that? For the record.
I can, for the record, the motion was made by Counselor Hooper and seconded by Counselor Donahue. Back to approve resolution 1557.
Thank you.
okay, Colby, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Counselor Eager,
Aye.
Counselor Wall,
Aye.
Counselor Astorga,
Aye.
Counselor Donahue. Counselor Oz Patterson, Counselor Hooper.
Aye.
Well, thank you for that, everyone. You're gonna double your pay. Okay. Next item is item 11D, which is supplemental budget number 1. That's resolution 1558.
I'll try not to muddle this one up. What page packet page is it?
170.
Sorry.
Okay, nice and fair is listed on this one too, so,
Yes, sir.
No, I had a busy month.
yeah.
So you guys, if you remember, Alan brought and Mark brought before you the SCA grant project over on Grant and Franklin and John. When we first brought that project, that was before all the inflation and craziness that we've seen lately. The engineers, I think we spoke about this at the last council meeting. You asked a very poignant question, Councillor Eater. So because you went ahead and approved the project, even with the inflation, this supplemental budget needs to be done to adjust that fund to be able to realize the actual beginning fund balance and then pay for that project. So because when we were making estimates for the budget, we didn't know when the project was going to get started. So we thought our beginning fund balance was going to be much lower than it really was. But now that the fiscal year has closed, we actually see how much that fund spent and what our beginning fund balance will actually be. So this supplemental budget is just asking to realize that the beginning fund balance, and that's where the revenue is coming from to pay for this.
Council, any questions? We've been through this before. Okay, I'll entertain a motion on resolution number 1558.
I move to approve the attached resolution authorizing appropriations and amending the fiscal year 2022-23 budget.
Motion and a second on resolution number 1558. Colby?
Counselor Elser. Aye. Counselor Eater.
Aye.
Counselor Wall.
Aye.
Counselor Escoga.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue. Aye. Counselor Knopf is absent.
Okay, thank you. Next, last action item, I believe, is the Lyuna CBA, which we discussed in executive session. And I will turn that over to Mark.
Okay. Yes, and in just recap, we have reached a tentative agreement with our public works employees represented by Lyuna on their labor contract. The union has voted to accept the agreement. Lyuna members will receive a 4% cost of living adjustment COLA for the fiscal year 22-23, a minimum of 2% and a maximum of 4% COLA for the fiscal years 2023-24 and 2024-25, plus a 1% market adjustment in each one of the 3 years pursuant to the terms of their collective bargaining agreement in attachment A. The action necessary to implement the agreement is for the city council to authorize the city manager to sign the CBA with Lyuna and to pass the salary resolution setting the wage scales for fiscal year 2022-2023. Recommendation from staff is to authorize the city manager to execute the CBA with Lyuna and adopt the attached resolution.
Okay. So we've had a discussion on this. Is there any other questions by council or comments?
Yes.
Yes.
These increases, as said in the financial impact, are covered by Mr. Daniels taking 2 positions. What if he leaves? Where are we gonna find the funding for the additional increases? I'm not saying he will, but I'm saying I have to be the devil's advocate here. What if he does, takes the chief's position somewhere else? Where are we gonna find the funding for these increases?
Would you like to discuss what we budgeted for and where this is actually coming out?
Well, we have savings in multiple places. That's one of them, but we also have staff shortages. If Daniel were to vacate this position, however, we would contract probably with whoever you wanted, and there would be savings until we found somebody. And then we could always do a supplemental budget, because we have contingency for those unforeseen circumstances.
You're asking how do we pay for both positions?
No, I'm asking how we're funding the increases. And right now, my consensus, or at least the way I'm seeing it is we're seeing these savings because Mr. Daniels is taking the 2 positions. But what I'm saying is those savings go away once, if and when, I'm just saying it's never gonna happen. It might. But if he takes a chief's position somewhere else and we have to get a new police chief and a new city manager, where are we gonna find those funds? Since in lieu of where they're at now.
My opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, that these are such minor increases that we would be able to fund them anyways.
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Okay.
So we will be able to fund them even if some time later on we say we, again.
Yes.
Yeah, these weren't, we weren't solely able to just do this because I'm in 2 spots. We've had such savings across the board
Mhm.
that we have assets that we can take care of this.
Right, and but just when it said the financial impact was just because you're taking up the 2 positions that could lead others in the public and obviously other counselors, myself included, thinking, okay, we're funding these increases only because we're down a position.
I think I misspoke, meaning that I didn't have to do a supplemental budget adjustment because when I do the budget, I only budget for a 3% increase
Mhm.
because we had the min 1 to 3, so I always do the top. Since we shifted it 2 to 4,
Mhm.
I didn't have to change the budget because I also budgeted at that time for 2 positions.
Okay,
So,
perfect. I
yeah,
just, like I
sorry.
said,
I mean, this is always before us, like every contract session, it's always before us, so
And
it's
we
nothing
do,
new.
one of the things that we've done with our financial policies is we carry a contingency. At some point, you're right, in 3 years, we might have to dip into that. We may have to revisit our budgeting process, but for now, we're okay.
I just don't want to get to the point where
That's a
we
good
have to
point.
deplete that and say, oh crap.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm still looking for a motion on resolution 1559. Can't make it.
I move to authorize the city manager to execute the Liuna collective bargaining agreement and to adopt the attached resolution adjusting the wage scales of Liuna union employees of the city of Mount Angel effectively July 1st, 2022.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution 1559. Colby?
Counselor Ott is absent. Counselor Hilbert. Aye. Counselor Peter.
Aye.
Counselor Wall.
Aye.
Counselor Corbett.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the city manager's report.
A number of things to talk about. Welcome. I will start where we left off last council meeting. Last council meeting, I passed out some information from the League of Oregon Cities in regards to the model psilocybin ordinance and ballot measure. And council indicated that you wanted the month to review this and then to provide me with some direction. So I'm seeking your direction as to which direction the council wishes to go in reference to the psilocybin issue. I'm happy to draft a potential ordinance regarding a ban and moving this to the ballot at our earliest opportunity.
And do you know offhand when that ballot measure opportunity would be?
Well, I think we're past the date to be able to get it on the ballot
Yeah,
in November.
Yeah.
So at least be in May, but it may be after that. But I think it might be a good idea to at least get on record as to how council feels about this one way or another. And then be able to move forward to get this at least in front of the voters at that point.
Well, you have my head nod to move forward an ordinance and move to put something on the ballot.
Either I nodded off or you spoke too soon, or I didn't hear you. So what do you want to put on the ballot?
So I'd like to float an ordinance past council to ban psilocybin and its use within the city of Mount Angel
And the sale.
and to refer it to the voters of Oregon as many other communities are doing.
Okay. That's for the sale and everything.
So
There's a sale and production of it.
sales, service, the whole 9 yards. And just as a quick reminder, This got legalized so that certain providers could, in a specified setting, then administer psilocybin to, I'll call them patients, and for them to go through the process that they go through to apparently treat whatever it is that they treat.
So that the use of it privately in someone's home is still legal.
Correct.
But this is just to ban the sale, production, and distribution of it.
Yes, it gets us on the road to prohibit a location from opening up in town that would be providing that type of treatment.
So what do you need from us?
I was hoping to get some direction ahead nod about moving ahead with an ordinance and being able to present that to council. Perhaps at my earliest opportunity, which would be perhaps the October meeting, but we'll see how much Oktoberfest gets in the way of my building.
And you're wanting to put this up to the voters as well, right?
Yes. Yep, absolutely. And that's the process that is already in place. And if we'd have done this a couple months ago, it would be going before the voters.
I'm gonna weigh in. I don't object to us dealing with it. I think it's premature. I don't think it's necessary with the way that the law is written for the state to control psilocybin. It's not like there's gonna be a psilocybin shop on every corner, but I'm okay with the discussion of it, but I just think it's unnecessary.
Okay, well, I will bring more information to council with a review of a potential ordinance. So I passed out to you a sheet which has some simple designs on it. The current logo, which is on the front of your council packet, was ushered into place by the former city manager. And we basically determined it's not practical for use as staff would like to use it for. We've attempted to make even Dan's retirement plaque using this logo, and we were unable to do it. If you look at it, it's blurry. It's very busy. There are no defined lines. We took it back to the graphic artist multiple times in order to make it, or attempt to make it so that it would be something that we could replicate on a plaque, let alone have it embroidered on a shirt or screen printed on a shirt or something like that. It's just very, very busy and very, very blurry. It's, like I said, not easily replicated, and we'd like to move forward. The city leadership staff has looked at the previously suggested designs. The designs, which were reviewed in committee, were kind of combined and improved upon, if I may say so. And I presented the design that you have in front of you to our leadership team, who were also to take it to city staff, to show them what the potential new logo could be. As you can see, this is quite unique and kind of brand new. It does maintain some Bavarian elements at the bottom. This was designed and assisted by a graphic artist, and assuredly can be easily reproduced and can be created into stickers, which can be applied to our city fleet, and is completely separate from the Chamber and Oktoberfest and other organizations. This provides us with our own identity. This is the design that the leadership team agreed on together. And many, if not all, were involved in the original committee, which were, and I'll quote, not listened to or given due regard for their input. Your staff is excited about moving this forward to brand our community in a new way. Unless the council has an objection, staff will be moving forward to rebrand our communications website and to develop new opportunities for the city's brand to be seen on shirts, hat pins, cars, and everything else. So I'm bringing this to you, unless you have overwhelming objections, this is where staff intends to go. And we'll be moving this forward, and this will be our brand moving forward. Easily reproduced, easily recognized. I think it's something that we can all be proud of. There's the M, has the A, it says Mount Angel, and then Oregon down below, and has the Bavarian flag symbol.
Looks good. Sure, we shouldn't put it on Facebook and.
Let's not. Yeah, right.
I remember reading many of those same comments, some by a graphic designer that I went to high school with, like, that's not a good choice, because you can't make it small, you can't put it on letterhead, and you can't.
And so one of the things that, was asked of me, because we had, when I was originally floated, was I had this rather large one, like this. And then the question was, well, how's it gonna look on letterhead? How's it gonna look on our business card? So I went ahead and had them make them up at a variety of different sizes. Cut one out and put it on a business card. It's pretty professional, it's pretty clean. And so this is just a representation of the different sizes. You can make it ginormous, or you can make it very small. It's very clean and very easily read. So. Councilor Astorga? Chris? That's the direction we're going. Staff will be very appreciative. So. Okay.
Does seem to have a lot more flexibility than,
What's that?
a lot more flexibility with this than what we had.
Absolutely. I want to let everybody know that Oktoberfest, as you've seen, the information booth is already in place, is in final preparations. We're definitely moving ahead with that. Jason, are you there?
Absolutely.
Hey, Jason, I hate to put you on the spot, but since you're here filling in for Alan,
Sure.
can you give us an update on the water line with the fire hydrant project?
Yeah, so as far as I understand, just being back is my first day back today after being gone last week. Notes Alan left me was that the line is installed. It's been chlorinated twice, but they have yet to pass their sample. So that's what we're waiting on, waiting for them to get a clean total coliform sample, and then that project should be close to wrapping up. Of course, we want to get that done before the paving project starts. So I will be taking routine samples tomorrow. They want to have that assuredness that our water provided to them is clean, and then they're going to retake it.
Okay. Any questions for Jason in regards to the water line and fire hydrant project?
Where's this at?
This runs, Jason, this runs north on John Street,
It's on Monroe.
Monroe, yeah.
So this is almost at the end of the
That's
line.
marked.
Getting hits for total coliform out there.
What's that?
We're still getting hits for total coliform out there.
Well, they just put this line in and they've not had a clean hit yet. But remember, it's a brand new built deal. They also had problems with a major change order to this. And so they basically had to, once they had it in the ground, they had to tear it all back out and then redo some of the pipe. And so they're definitely working through trying to get that pipe clean.
Okay.
And it's
So
not
that-
within the system yet.
No, it is not
Right.
connected to our system yet.
It's not, and to be honest, contractors that come to this town often struggle with this. They fail to realize that we don't chlorinate as of now. And so when that pipe is put in the ground, we emphasize keep clean, because you're going to have a hard time getting a sample. And it's not until they get to this phase that they realize they have a tough time getting a sample. So hopefully we get it flushed out again and they get a good sample. It took CG Contracting, I believe, 3 tries. And that was for Cindy Lane.
Okay, Jason, I'm gonna put you on the spot the second time. So provided they get clean samples out of this water line project, where do we stand with the Franklin and John overlay project as far as the start date?
So the start date, I saw K&E was out there today. They're actually out surveying, getting ready to go. My timeline that Alan provided me, they still have several things they need to do before they get started. Removing structures, obstructions, installing erosion. They have not done that yet. The unknown is whether they get that sample or clean back or not. There is no leaking. Its pressure test is passed. The construction of the water line is essentially complete.
Okay. Thank you, Jason.
You bet.
And the last thing that I would like to ask council about is, and this was our other executive session, the grant company is looking at the council to perhaps provide their support in the grant company's interest to obtain the property on South Main Street, the former Wilco building there, for possible development, which may provide an opportunity in the future for the city to possibly relocate City Hall and the police station to that property should it come to pass.
You looking for nods?
I'm looking for nods. I'm looking for council support for me to tell the grant company that it might be a great thing for them to invest in that property and see where this goes.
I support you telling the grant company that had it investigate the property.
Very good. Council, that is all I have.
Okay,
Thank you very much for your
been a
attention.
busy guy, haven't you? We have councilor reports. We start with Councilor Hofer.
The only thing that I've been thinking about since the last meeting, city's engineer. And the answer with the overlay project and the delay that just got busy. I mean, it's an overlay, like, I'm not even sure what they had to design, like. So a project like that seems like you could put that out and have it design and build, like. There's no curb, right? No sidewalk, no gutter, no stormwater, it's grading and overlaying. And then you combine that, and we pay for it, we just pay for it, eat it. Combine that with the sewer trunk line design, which they ran on this, I know Mark said that's just how it's done. They ran all the way down the field, had a complete design ready to install, and didn't talk to any of the property owners. And they knew they didn't even have an easement for the existing line, it was there. And it's like, we just pay for it, so we're just like a blank check, so that's it, I just feel like we just kind of, there should be some kind of recourse, because they are contracted, they're working for us. And at times doesn't seem like that's really.
It's been in grip since day one with that guy. It just seems like he's kind of using that project as a cash cow.
Well, and I
I'm
really,
not saying that, but that's what it feels like to me anyways.
oh, okay, that's my. That's all I got.
Councilor Storga.
I just want to let you guys know that a lot of our chemical costs in the wastewater industry and drinking water industry is going up. So be ready, because we've been almost doubled the cost of chlorine. So I know chlorine gas is cheaper, but it's still going to go up. Just heads up on that. It's coming, and we've been seeing it. It's hurting.
More good news? Councilor Donovan.
Where did we end up? This was a long time ago, a few months ago, 3 months ago, 2 months ago. With the open counselor position, did we decide not to do that?
We didn't take action at that time, I know.
Did it just get forgot about and just wait until the end of the year?
We have the election coming up,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's why we just decided to table it. I think was because of the election coming up.
We're very likely, unless something crazy happens, we're going to have an appointment also, because the second half of my term will be open. So we have 6 candidates for 3 seats on the council. And we're gonna have an appointment, so we're gonna have be some new faces. Okay. Council Eater,
Bear with me.
okay,
I would imagine that the formality, since Pete is the only candidate for mayor, we still have to wait till January
No,
to appoint him.
you don't. You can appoint him at any time.
What happens if you have a write-in? And he overwhelmingly,
And you would affect, be off council, because if he vacates his position.
he would.
Yes.
But you have to, yeah.
Let's say he vacates his position and accepts an appointment as mayor. Then, and he's running for mayor. And if he happens to lose that election, then he's in effect off council in January.
So does this mean we can expedite this? And appoint Pete to be mayor?
You can,
That's something we can bring back next meeting?
you can do it next meeting, you can do it, I think, at any time.
Has to have public comment, doesn't it? Or no?
No, there's no public hearing, no public comment.
In fact, I can read you the chart.
just to facilitate this, I'm not much of a betting man, but I'll give up my seat if I think I'll win that one, but I'll have to be sworn in for full term in January.
So filling vacancies, section 33 of the charter. A vacancy in the office of mayor or councillor will be filled by appointment by a majority of the remaining council. The appointee's term of office shall run from the appointment until expiration of the term of office of the last person elected to that office. If a disability prevents a council member from attending council meetings or a member is absent from the city, a majority of the council may appoint a councillor pro tem. That is what it says.
So with that being said, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Pete Wall as mayor.
Second.
You're not gonna ask for discussion?
Okay, I guess I still have to run the meeting, don't I? Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to appoint Pete Wall as mayor for the remainder of the term. And I'll ask Colby to take a roll call.
All right, Counselor Donahue,
Aye.
Counselor Hott is absent, Counselor Hofer,
Aye.
Counselor Eater.
Aye.
What do you think, Counselor Wall?
I'm going to abstain.
Counselor Escorga. All right, now Mayor Wall.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you all. Try my best. And if we ever have any more contract review, we'll talk about it ahead of time.
Okay, I got a couple more things. Who owns the trees in Mount Angel between the street and the sidewalk? You want to get back to me on that?
I can answer it if you like as well.
Go ahead.
It is our right of way, but homeowners are responsible for the vegetation within the planter strip, if they have one.
So does that mean you contact the homeowner?
That's correct.
Well, last Wednesday morning, I was walking Abbey Hill in the dark, and I've ducked under this tree probably, I'm not lying to you, probably 350 times in the last 32 months, and it got me.
Where's the tree? Is it right there on the corner?
Pretty close to the corner. It's between Buchheit and Gillis, but closer to Buchheit.
You're not the only one who's recently complained about it. So there has been a complaint form.
And my DNA is all over that branch.
I'm sure.
I mean, it hit me, it was instant blood, and I was on my butt, like,
Oh,
just like that.
okay, yeah, I think, I was told there's a pear tree or something that.
Yeah, it's got a knob on it, sticks out like this when you walk into it. There's one both directions.
You're not the only complaint, and that one I have turned over to Public Works, so we can ask the homeowner to do that, or if they won't do it, it's been our right of way, we can also take it if it's under.
If I can,
Go ahead, Jason.
yeah, this morning, we got those complaint forms this morning, and two of our guys, Eric and Robert, went up there on East College between Buchheit and Gillis and trimmed those low limbs to alleviate both of those complaints, hopefully they're gone.
I'll find out in the morning.
Hopefully there's no DNA on any more limbs.
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Chainsaw out there running after the meeting, what's going on here?
I had a prominent resident of Mount Angel ask me, and this has been brought up a couple years ago, but the narrowness and of Alder Street. And I know it was talked about a couple years ago about doing something with that. I know that there was a resident up there that was willing to donate $10,000 to the cause, and I don't know what happened to that little project, but I told them I'd get back to them, at least I'd bring it to your guys' attention.
I think that's on the CIP project plan, isn't it, Pete? I remember seeing something for Alder. Have to go back and
I'd
look
be
at that.
surprised if it wasn't.
But
So,
I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was. in the-
I think everybody knows what stretch of Alder is. It's pretty close to East College. Where it narrows down, there's gravel and
There's two new houses.
yeah,
It's a concrete portion of all that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll have to look into it and see.
okay.
And I think that predates me likely, so.
I think I talked to you this today. Are we done fighting with the sausage company with the fence? Or did that vehicle get moved today?
I don't know whether I haven't been out of the office other than to walk over here for the council meeting today, so I don't know what happened. I think Sergeant Hall was gonna go out and talk with Mr. Hope today about his vehicle. But just a reminder, during Oktoberfest, that's where they generally park some of the vehicles that service a lot of the booths and that type of thing for Oktoberfest. That's ODOT right away. Although, yes, in the city, but it is ODOT right away. So we try to work very hand in glove or whatever with our friends with Oregon State Police and all that to make sure that it remains a passable state highway. So I'm not sure what the result was, because Charlie and I did not talk about that before I came over here. As far as the fence goes, I know that Colby and Alan were both working on that. Colby, can you fill in some blanks?
Sure, last Tuesday, we had a pre-construction meeting for the paving project, so Steve Ward was in town, he met Alan and I down there. And we wanted to double check with him, being our engineer, to make sure we were laying out the vision clearance triangle that is required correctly. So we did that on that corner of the street, which is a 4-corner system, you have to lay out a triangle on each corner. We laid it out on the side the fence was on, put dots down right where they needed to be, where that line needed to connect. And so there was a visual reference, and Jim did comply and knocked 2 more panels down to appropriate height. And so that opened up that vision clearance, which was okayed by Steve. And then on the other side of the property where the driveway comes out from Civic Drive, that is also considered an intersection because there is a driveway there that exits onto the highway. So that one slightly smaller vision clearance triangle because of the situation. But we made him move that yellow truck he had out there back to an appropriate distance. And no fencing will be allowed to be put in that place. So I believe that we did our due diligence and crunched the numbers, made our calculations. He was cooperative, and so I believe that we're as good as we can get on.
Thank you. Last thing is there been any talk of the convent property with Mountain West, or have they contacted the city, or what's going on with that project?
We've actually had 2 meetings with them. I made it pretty clear, based on what I've heard in the community, and based on how the city's running, that, and I've heard a couple of different versions of what they have intended, or I'm even hearing a 3rd and 4th version now. So I'm not exactly sure what they're intending on doing. I know that the numbers of the nuns are dwindling. They're looking to move out of their building and to perhaps build another building where they can live out their days, likely on the BNC property where the Benedictine Nursing Center is. So they're hoping to sell and or develop the property where they currently live and do all the things that they're doing. There's a lot, like I said, there's at least 3 different versions of what they might put in there. One of the versions that caused me to take a step back and just to be very blunt and honest with them involved placing probably a couple hundred units of housing on that property that would house people either in transition or mental health or a variety of different things, which would require significant services potentially from a lot of different places, which would include your police department, public works, and just about everywhere else. And that property would be run by another nonprofit, which would keep it off the county or keep it off of the tax rolls. So we would not realize any benefit to our budget, but we would see a significant increase in services, especially by your police department and other city services. I made it very clear to them that I thought that was probably the worst thing to do, and that my bet was that the council would be thinking that that would be a very negative consequence to this community. So I'm not sure exactly what they're looking at today. Like I said, within the last week or so, I've heard a couple of different things. I can tell you that WAFLA, which is a group of folks out of Washington State, which are currently occupying part of the mission, if you will, on the opposite side of the street, which are housing migrant farm workers that are here legitimately and legally through legal federal means to get here, that are helping farmers out. They're actually looking at buying that entire complex where the mission is right now. They're looking at renovating that and providing that housing available to those migrant farm workers who are here in this area for basically no more than 10 months. They come up here, they work, they send money home, and then they go back to Mexico or from wherever that is that they came from. But it's a very legitimate program. I've met with the WAFLA folks. I've been out there, in fact, last week. I joined them for a nice little taco night to try and welcome them to the community and to be a resource, if for no other reason, to reduce some of those walls and some of those barriers between public servants like me and migrant farm workers. And this, for me, is a very personal thing because this goes back to the very start of my career in Salem, dealing with migrant farm workers and trying to make sure that they understood that we are not here to cause them problems. We're in fact here to help them and to provide them with services. So that's what I know about what's going on down there. But as I said, with the property at the monastery, I've heard now 3 or 4 different versions. So I'm not sure exactly which direction that they're going. I actually heard that there might have been a person showing up at council tonight to provide an update, but obviously they're not here.
So was that Dan Fazio you met with?
It is Dan Fazio. And then he brought in 2 other gentlemen and I can't remember their names,
I've just met Dan.
but I had a really good visit with them last week. And they brought in people from the Mexican consulate and it was a really, really good time.
Great, thank you.
I'd like to play off that a little bit. I was at a private gathering on think Saturday evening. And I heard 4 different things that are happening with that property from 4 different private citizens. So there's a lot of discussion out there. And some of them I'm laughing. I'm not laughing because it's a joke. I'm laughing because it was so ridiculous, some of the, anyway, but
I had, Mr. Mayor, I had a member of the community, a longstanding member of the community, even approached me when I was here in the library last week. And started talking to me about that, and the fact that they'd heard a lot of different things and were hoping that it didn't become a negative thing for the community. But she looked at me and said, don't you think we ought to be able to get a McMillan's in there?
that was one of the ones I heard on Saturday night.
They take over old
They
buildings.
take over old monasteries and all kinds of places.
Yep, that was one of them Saturday night.
So anyway,
Okay,
I hope that answers your question.
okay. Well, speaking of DNA, I left some of my DNA in Boston. And, you're all kind of familiar with it. The bad news is this little thing is going to be with me on my knee for the next month, probably. Good news is it's getting better and I can get around, and so I feel good, but I just don't like my friend anymore. Yes,
So, Rita, since council has appointed a member, and not in the event, I'm certainly not hoping that anything ever happens to you, but in your absence, should we appoint the council president who can act in your place should you not be available?
I personally think that's a good idea, but that's up to council. Yeah. Anyone want to make a motion to appoint a
Say we make Shelley since she's not here.
we'd pay for that, believe me.
Who's the other longest standing counselor here?
And doesn't he have experience as a council president?
Somebody took it away.
And didn't you vote against me? Anyone want to make a motion to appoint a council president?
Sure. Sorry, guys, want to?
I moved to appoint Radiator as council president.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to appoint Councilor Eater as the council president. Over, you want to roll call that one? Okay,
Counselor Astorga,
Right.
Counselor Donahue,
Aye.
Counselor Dodd is absent, Counselor Hofer,
Aye.
Counselor Eager, he doesn't really.
Nay, nay.
And, Mayor Wall.
hi. Oh, my first official mayor vote. You all need.
I do.
I did put a name vote on you.
Very good. That's how I heard it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Very welcome. That's a good idea. The only other thing I have is that next week, we're gonna have a couple 100,000 of our closest friends in town, and I really appreciate all the work that, and it extends way beyond just the Oktoberfest board, all the work the community puts into that event. So it's a lot to do, and hopefully the community will benefit from it this year. So that's all I have. It's out of here by 9.
Are we adjourned?
Oh, yes, we're going to adjourn.